Han pasado meses desde que subí un nuevo video. Una disculpa por eso. La situación actual hace difíciles ciertas cosas. No quiero aburrirlos con esto, así que solo diré lo siguiente. Los videos vuelven al canal. Sin más que decir, comencemos. Cada persona en el mundo ha estado pasando por una difícil situación en los últimos meses. La rápida y peligrosa propagación del virus denominado como COVID-19 puso en peligro la estabilidad de cada país, siendo la única forma de enfrentar y superar esta situación el completo cese de actividades de cualquier tipo, entre las que se encuentra el desarrollo de contenido centrado en el entretenimiento, motivo por el cual las noticias relacionadas con cine y TV han sido pocas. Debo decir que debido a esta situación, muchos proyectos planeados para este año 2020 se han visto aplazados para 2021. Ejemplo de esto son las Olimpiadas de Tokio 2020, las cuales fueron suspendidas por unos meses y más tarde se cambiaría la fecha al otro año. Así que sí, si antes de la pandemia no había fecha de estreno para el spin-off de Grimm, con los hechos recientes este fue aplazado aún más. Ahora mi suposición mencionada en un video anterior será completamente errónea. De cualquier forma, cualquier nueva noticia será publicada en el canal. Debo resaltar que en los últimos meses la cuenta de Twitter oficial de la serie Grimm comenzó a mostrarse más activa, habiendo cesado los tweets desde su final, y mostrando solo uno que otro ocasional. El tweet más reciente muestra un comentario que pareciera únicamente referirse a un mes del año, pero lo extraño de este pareciera ocultar algo. Habiendo dicho esto, te preguntarás, si no es sobre el spin-off, ¿qué noticia nos darás en este video? Pues, la siguiente noticia no está realmente relacionada con este, o tal vez sí. En cambio, se trata de un suceso que no se ha llevado a cabo desde el final de la serie en 2017. El pasado 30 de abril, se llevó a cabo una videoconferencia entre algunos de los miembros del elenco de actores de la serie, Brie Turner, Claire Coffey, Jacqueline Toboni, Reggie Lee, Silas Wade Mitchell y Sasha Royce, en la cual se les realizaron algunas preguntas hechas por los fans. La videoconferencia, una sesión de preguntas y respuestas, se llevó a cabo gracias al sitio Wiser World, en una de las secciones nombrada Virtual Experience, la cual consiste en videoconferencias con actores pertenecientes a algunas de las más populares series y producciones. En la que hacemos mención en este video fue una dirigida por el conductor Mike Gregorick. Encontrarán el link al canal de YouTube y el video original en la descripción de este video, ambos en inglés. A continuación les mostraré la conferencia, subtitulada al español. Espero no meterme en problemas por resubirla, pero en esta se da información que es mejor escucharla por la voz de la fuente. Sin más que decir, comencemos con la conferencia. Antes un recordatorio. Este es mi primer trabajo realizando una traducción desde el inglés. Puedo entenderlo, pero traducirlo al 100% es otra cosa. Por lo que habrá algunas partes donde no pude hacer una traducción de lo dicho, ya sea por no entenderlo o fallos en la transmisión. De cualquier forma, hice lo posible por rescatar lo más importante y traducirlo para ustedes. Una vez dicho esto, continuemos. Postdata, se incluyó material no mostrado en la entrevista para ayudar al entendimiento de esta.
I'm excited to bring this next cast out. Please help me in welcoming them one at a time. And I practiced my German for this. I won't do it as well as Silas does on the show, as Monroe does, but bear with me. We know this next person as the Fuchsbau, Rosalie Calvert. Please give it up first for Brie Turner.
Hi.
What's up, Brie? Next up, it's the Hexen Beast Witch, Adeline Shade. Let's hear it for Claire Coffey.
Yay.
All right, we've got one. Claire, where are you?
Wait. Am I in control of this? Oh, no,
You did it.
That's trust me.
All you have to do digitally to be involved here.
One button. That's all it takes. One button. Can't get it.
Right. We've got some Besson. We've got some witches. Let's bring our first Grimm out. Teresa Rubel, better known as Trouble. Let's hear it for Jacqueline Tobani. Hey, Jacqueline. All right. I think our only human, true human. Well, no spoilers, but it started off completely human. Desk Sergeant Drew. Let's hear it up. Give it up for Reggie Lee.
Hello, Grimsters. You can just call me Neanderwoo.
There it is. I like it. Next up, let's hear it for our favorite Blutbad, Monroe. Give it up for Silas Weir Mitchell.
Woohoo!
There he is. What's up, Silas?
Howdy.
And last but not least, let's give it up for our Zabudis. Let's hear it for Sasha Ruiz.
Hey guys, we did it.
Woohoo! You all made it to the virtual setting. Welcome and thank you for being here. My gosh, I remember watching Grimm, and it's only been 3 years, but it feels like it was just recently that we had the final episodes. How's it been since then? You know, the fan love has continued. The Grimmsters were always there, always strong. In the not in the background, in the forefront, keeping that show going. And man, we're so happy that we got the 6 seasons that we did, and that you ended, you know, basically on your own terms story-wise. But I'd love to hear just from each of you, you know, your final memories of finishing the show, and just like, you know, what you've been up to since then, and how excited you are about the Grimmster love out there still continuing.
Who would like to start?
Anyone? Anyone?
Oh, people on Twitter right now are literally like, I'm so happy. I don't think I've ever been this happy in forever. Hello from Russia. Hello from Brazil. The show had such a worldwide impact. Yeah, we'd love to just hear about how it's been since the show ended, and feeling that love still.
Yeah, I mean, that show ended pretty dramatically, actually. In Portland, there was some crazy snowstorm and weather delays and sets. I mean, we went out with a big fat bang on set.
all of the weather bullets we had dodged 5 or 6 years came in the last 6 weeks of production. We lost like 10 days. We had been weaving through weather for 5 years, and then at the end we just got nailed. But as far as Grimmster love, I mean, you guys, the fans followed us from night to night, from day to day. They moved us around the schedule. In the first 2 years, we were in like 4 different time slots in the first 2 years, and you guys stuck with us. And that's why we got 6 years. If it weren't for you guys literally finding us on the schedule, which they just moved us around.
They tried to get rid of us.
That's power.
Oh my gosh, you just got the dreaded Friday slot, but you wound up being the most successful show on that Friday. And I know there's a bunch of slots that we hit, but yeah, the most successful show on that time slot. Amazing. I know you're going to start to say something.
The pilot aired against. I was going to say the pilot aired against Game 7 of the World Series, which was never supposed to happen, but there was a rain delay in the World Series that pushed Game 7 to the night that it was, because it was never meant, the schedule of the Game 7 was meant to be on a Thursday or something. I forget exactly the date, but that's when I said, oh, well, nice try. Game 7 of the World Series. And there we were.
6 years later.
Yeah.
6 years later, after every season, we would be like, we're going to get a pickup. We're going to get a pickup. And we did. I mean, we were actually fortunate enough that they told us, here's your last season. Here's 12 or 13 episodes, so we could end it properly.
Yeah.
But it was, listen, it was dramatic for all of us. It's 6 years. We were a family up there. We're still a family now. We still get together. We still text constantly. We're still like this. Like, this is like just our daily routine right here. But yeah,
like happy hour.
Tragic.
No,
But
I mean,
exactly.
Do you remember like the last episode, because we all sort of, you know, I won't spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the end yet, but you know, we all left the show different ways, different days. And I mean, the tears, like with each character's last shot, it was so dramatic. I mean, we were lucky. It was Claire, Silas, me, and David. I think my last shot. And we were in the middle of the woods. It was so misty and rainy.
It was awful.
And freezing.
Awful. Yeah.
But it actually, I mean, I was a mess.
I remember it was almost as though Portland didn't want us to leave, because we had this. Do you remember there was this snowstorm that would not stop for like 10 days? Like we'd never had something like that.
There were like
and we
two
got
ice storms.
I think we were delayed by almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't get our final episode completed. Yeah.
Some people couldn't even wait. Bree, you couldn't get to your house because it was so icy.
Oh my God,
or
no!
something,
I
right?
actually walked myself down to the stages from where I lived. Like walking.
That was like, and that's a
Because no
good-
transpo could come up my hill to get me.
I had to have transpo drive me up my hill, which like mine wasn't even a very big hill, but I didn't have chains.
Why would you have
changed?
Claire and I were in the same
Portland.
neighborhood. We were stuck.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing.
But we had one last day. I think we had one last day all together, and it was at Bree and Silas's, like your Monroe and Rosalie's house, right? We had like one last day of the cast all together. That was a weepy day. That was a weepy day.
Oh.
Very, very weepy.
Well, you mentioned-
Also, it was like senioritis. We couldn't stop laughing and goofing off. We like couldn't finish any take.
Underneath
We were
it, so it was-
so annoying to like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Portland. I mean, we're seeing fans from all over the world, obviously. So it obviously had to reach. But how about the city of Portland? My gosh, the outpouring for all y'all for filming that there.
Oh.
Such a cool city of amazing artists.
Yeah.
So I mean, just shout out to Portland. Any Portland?
Oh, miss you so dear.
I know.
Portland.
Jacqueline, how
Miss
about-
you, love you, mean it for sure.
Yeah.
With that.
Jacqueline, how
Yeah.
about- I mean, you came in.
We'll always have Portland.
Crew in season 3. What was it like coming into it, and then now like seeing all the fandom after it?
Oh my God, I had no idea what I was doing. Thankfully, people really helped me out. And when you don't know what you're doing, this is my first job ever. And you guys had so much patience. Now that I know a little bit more and I've worked a little bit more, I'm like, I cannot believe how much patience you guys had. Because
Oh my
it's
God,
just
Jax.
always, like,
She was
I'm
amazing. She was all right. She was still in college. She was still in college
Oh,
when she
Jax,
came in the show.
I remember when I met you and you weren't working that day. Lynn was bringing you around because you were doing a test. You had to do like the final audition for it. And I remember like talking to you and then feeling like, oh my God, like you seemed so much more mature and posed and like had your shit together in a way that I was like, who is this magical person? Like, this is insane. And I told Lynn, I was like, wow, she has to like this isn't like she has to do this. Also, like, can she teach me a few things? Because but it was, yeah, you were amazing. And then like your first episode was so intense too. That was the other thing. Like I always say to people who want to start in the business, like, you know, how do you learn? And it's like, you can't really learn. Like everybody, you know, a lot of us have gone to drama school or whatever else, and you learn by doing. And so you just hope that the jobs you get first are very low stakes. And that was not the case for you.
No, it
Really
it
just
wasn't
did
the
it.
case. And she also had Bert as her director in that first episode that she was in. Do you remember Underneath the Bridge, Jacqueline, when our characters met? And he was
Yes.
just like he was like a
Throwing you down
fire
the car.
hose, just throwing you on the car. And it was like Bert, it was like prime
Yeah.
Bert. It was like, go there. No, wait, stop, turn around, go back. Okay, wait, action, cut.
Look down,
Hey,
look
no,
up, you
Jack,
stand.
turn around.
Look down,
Go,
look up,
go,
you
put your
stand.
head on the car. Hey, go backwards. Go slower, go faster. You gotta be a little louder. You gotta be a little quieter. Okay, go. I mean, it was
You
insane.
have to process all these things for 1 second, for like 2 seconds of acting. There's like
It was
30
full
things
on
you have to
fire
know.
hose Bert. It was Bert as fire hose, and you were just like,
He was our producing director. So he was there with us all the time.
Well, what an
But
amazing
you
creative team.
you handled that like someone who
Pro.
Oh my gosh.
Like you were like,
Pro.
it was unbelievable. You're like
Pro,
amazing
pro.
under pressure.
No,
I was-
you
from that
made
moment
us
on, I was
like
like-
raise our game because you know
Yeah, you
season
actually really
3,
actually
we
did.
start to kind of like fuck around a little bit, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, we gotta
Yeah.
like be on point now.
I remember everybody always telling me, God, you just have so much energy. I was like, is that a bad thing? Because you're like, you're just young and you like to go first. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
Wait, Bree, I remember your first day, Bree Turner, I was like on the table at the spice shop, and you had just gotten the role like the day before and hadn't, like we were doing all your
we were
scenes
doing
that
like
day or
my
something.
all my scenes in one day. Talk about Claire, like come on the job, have it just be like a walkthrough scene. Like it was like, I mean, I've said this story a few times, but it is kind of crazy. Like I meet the Monroe character for the first time. I morph for the first time. I get chased by 3 lizards. I have to do like my own stunt. I have to like do a potion. I have to save Reggie's life. Like it was.
You have to know all these spices and
And all
herbs
of
and all
that.
these crazy.
But you know what?
And
Honestly,
it was all in the. It was in the spice shop that was not a set. It was like
Oh, yeah.
actually in that.
It was
space
actually-
Oh, it
down
was,
on
that's right.
Third that
No.
was.
Cool. That's super
Oh,
cool.
wow.
yeah, it was in a real shop,
shop.
in Chinatown, underground. Also, so much asbestos, like so much toxic air. Every crew member had a, now I wish we had those masks,
Yeah.
those World
Yeah.
War II masks. And, Silas, David and I, Reggie, we're just like breathing in black mold, just taking it in. But I have to say though, I couldn't have jumped in like that if the show, I came into episode 15, so you guys had already been working for 6 months or so, but the scripts and the characters and the foundation that was built allowed me to totally get in to the world, probably with Jacqueline's experience too, when it's that tight and solid, you can really dive freely, which is rare.
And my gosh, a great testament to why this show was so successful and why we fell in love with your characters is this relationship happening right now. What a greater group of people that obviously just got together and made this. You mentioned some of the creatives. My gosh, just the set and the props and the and everything that was put into it. But still celebrating the local Portland scene. So again, shout out to the crew and the creatives and the producers and the writers.
We got to give props. We got to give props
Yeah.
to Jim Kauf and David Greenwald and Lynn Kauf, who really put all this together, because they're such good people that they put a little family together, so they could
really
find
did.
the temperaments that work together, and it stuck together. They could have killed any one of us at any time, and they kept us for
Lord knows they tried.
seasons. I think they tried, but they were like, "No, we
Probably
can't kill
should
them."
have. Let's be honest. For a story.
I know, but I'm so happy we were all up until the end.
Somebody.
Well, yeah, and there were plenty of opportunities, like you said, Silas, but I think it was
It
because
was amazing.
of how much we fell in love with those characters that kept you all alive, and the fan support is don't kill them, and how you guys all continued, and it's amazing. And I want to get to some fan questions just because we do have limited time. But it goes completely in line with what you all were saying, just the family that was created there. And a UK Grimster, Mix in Delight, wants to know, and you briefly touched on it, but do you all still meet up, stay in touch, and how's your relationship been after the show? I know you said it a little bit, but I'd love to hear a little more about it.
It hasn't really skipped a beat, really.
Yeah,
and we
no.
all live in different places too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say we all. I live
Claire.
here in New York. I imagine that
Yeah,
everybody
speak for
lives in places. I don't think everybody that without me.
Although
but-
you have Russell's there now, right?
Russell's here now,
Yeah,
yes,
you guys are
yes.
close.
Yes, so I told Russell he's not allowed to leave at all. So, and now he's stuck here because it's quarantine. So, but yeah, we all hang out very frequently.
Very frequently.
Thank God.
Do you have a favorite story arc or character story that you particularly liked? I know a lot changed for each one of your characters throughout the 6 seasons. My gosh, from just all the, and that's what's so cool about the fairy tale world that was created. But a lot of fans are asking out there now, specifically Lily and Gil and Claudia Close, favorite season and why, or favorite character arc that you went through over the 6 seasons.
I know this isn't mine, but I have to say, and it may be just because you just said, Reggie, you just said Neanderwoo, but I have to say that arc was totally great. It was hilarious. You were so real. It was like eating the couch when you had Pike that you couldn't tell what
you
was
guys,
going on.
that
And I remember being
the chapstick?
I remember
the
being
chapstick?
on I remember being on set one day and I was finished, but I wanted to watch what you were doing. And it was in the mirror and deal with what was going on. And I was like, it was so real and so good that it just brought something totally outlandish into the realm of absolutely possible.
Oh no, I would have to say any Reggie heavy episode were usually my favorite episodes. Like,
Oh God.
Sorry, guys.
Wait, wait,
UPS.
Sasha, who's there?
Agree.
Who's here?
Someone rang the doorbell. Really alerted the dog.
What I was going to say about that,
Sorry.
like how, first of all, thank you, Silas. Silas and I have known each other for a very long time because we studied with the same acting coach. I admire his work as much as he admires mine, always. But that carpet eating, where you guys had to take me to the couch, remember that?
by the way,
But-
that also
Yes.
was, I think that was my second episode only, or first.
And already that. So they were like, hey, we've got this cotton candy and it's going to be sprinkled amongst the white shag rug. And I said, well, listen, I'm not going to know what's cotton candy, so I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
So I went for it, and that had to be in my mouth for a good long time. The next day, I had rug burn in my cheek.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
How are you
still-
gonna
but
make it? How are you gonna be
everything- I
real
was
if you're
like-
like picking the pieces
I
out? You just
can't.
were like,
I was just
You're just
like,
like,
I'm just going to go for it. So
Oh my God.
I think we all had our fair share of having to ingest gross things at some point in the 6
God.
years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been like, I remember drinking that potion over and over and
Oh,
over
right?
and over
Oh,
again.
that like
remember it-
milky, chunky,
Yeah.
yogurty
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kefir, wasn't it, Sash? It was like,
It was like a mix of kefir with lumpy bits to make it
oh,
look
that's
extra
so
gross.
disgusting.
Oh
Yeah.
God, it even makes me
Yeah.
nauseous to think about it right now.
Sash, I love the episode where you had to play like
Oh my God.
yeah.
David's character and you,
Mhm.
and then what? You kidnapped me or something in the back of.
Oh,
was the back
no,
of,
no, no. That was a different one where I got possessed by.
that was a
the devil.
different one, but man,
Jack the Ripper.
you
yeah.
had some turns. Ooh.
There was a lot of possession, a lot of babies, a lot of possession again, more babies. Claire, you had a lot of
And possessed,
very
and,
fer-
and let's
you were
not forget
very
possessed
fertile, weren't
babies.
Possessed
Yeah.
baby.
That's true. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It sounds like an easy set to be on. Sounds like nothing but fun.
Oh, hey.
A lot of fun.
Afterwards, we just go get a drink somewhere in Portland after we
Yep.
morphed all day.
Yep.
Claire,
Yeah.
Claire, how about you? I know we talked a little bit. Everyone's mentioned your babies. Is there a favorite baby arc?
It's a mother can't choose between her. There was, and I also had a real baby, but the real baby was not incorporated into the storyline in time. Like I was pregnant for real, and then pregnant for fakesies, and then pregnant for fakesies again.
There are a lot of babies in and out of the show too.
Yeah, and then
I
we
think
had for like Kelly was played by 3 sets of twins, 6 children.
Yeah, that was a very relaxing set those days.
Jacqueline, favorite favorite moments for Trouble?
Well, I just thought that holding that baby was really hilarious because it's hard being like, I would think of myself as a very good caregiver and babysitter and future mother, but like having Trouble hold the baby, I had to like hold it away from me and like not be at all comfortable. And this baby is crying in my face and I was feeling so terrible. So not that one. I did probably, I really liked working with Brian, who played the octopus. I thought that was a really fun arc of following him, and he gets my memories into his head and gets kind of traumatized by that. And I thought it was a good, like, you can use your trauma. It's a strength sometimes. I felt like that was fun.
Do you all have this is from Shante Tamisia, I think watching on Facebook, but it goes right along with everything. Do you have a favorite creature? I mean, my gosh, what an amazing world that, started in the basis of fairy tale, but then obviously became its own thing by the creators. Is there a favorite creature or character that you particularly enjoyed watching back when you saw it afterwards?
Do you guys remember? Do you guys
Go ahead,
remember
Silas.
Bob Clendenin's character when he came up for a couple? He was like a friend of mine who like turned me in or something. And when he morphed, he turned into like basically sort of like a what would you call it? Like
I was about to say, the same
like
thing.
a goiter, like a human goiter. I don't know what he was.
Yeah.
He was,
but it was.
he was like
and
this
he
smelly
smelled.
blonde.
And when
Yeah,
he smelled,
exactly.
he morphed, and we were all like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
That was
Ooh, I remember him.
I-
But what's interesting also, like this, the CG versus like the real where they actually put on prosthetics
Yeah.
and walked around set.
Yeah.
It was
it's not.
it was amazing. Barney Burnham, amazing makeup artist. But yeah, there's some
Yeah,
some
I
good
would
ones out
agree.
there.
The practical effect creatures, like I think my favorite was the tree. That actor, I forgot his name, but he did all our big tall creatures.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Doug,
It
I
was
think
one-
his name was. Yeah.
He was Krampus too.
He was
the Krampus was one of the had to be the best in a way. Like
Krampus was
the
great.
bad
and
the
also
bad
and also
Santa,
the,
you know, with the horns.
What was the one where he was like a lava creature? Like he was all
the golem.
volcanous?
Yeah, he was like the
Golem.
golem. Oh, Volcanologist. Yeah, right.
That was pretty funny. Where we had to
my God.
extinguish him with fire extinguishers or something.
That was when you were subbing in for Russell, who had broke his leg. Wasn't it? When you was like suddenly it was like, oh, and all the captains with.
Yeah. Russell had tore his Achilles.
No,
tendon.
he tore his Achilles, and he had to wear that ridiculous boot, or like that cost wardrobe made him that, like
so then
he tore his Achilles.
So then Q and Captain coming in and being all like buddy with everybody for that episode.
And remember,
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you pushed him on the chair, right?
we put him. Wait, Sash. We put him on a chair and like we pushed him off to like he was gonna go to Hawaii, like on vacation.
We waved him off.
totally.
Yeah.
It is, from my perspective, it is hard to tell that y'all are friends right now. It is very hard. You seem very, very uncomfortable with each other, very bad at talking with each other. The fans are just loving it out there. Oh my gosh. I wanted to ask about, we were talking about changing into the characters. You've got to had some people had some neck cricks from that, huh? How was it doing the I can't do it justice. Changing to the characters.
The morph.
I'm
had very
doing it right
different,
now.
I feel like the morph is the vogue is kind of like a fingerprint, you know? Everybody
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
way to do it.
A signature. Yeah.
I think I had to do it on the pilot.
Yeah.
And it was still like we hadn't really nobody was like, hey, this is how we've decided this is gonna look. And because Silas, you had to do it too on the pilot. Like, did they tell you what they were going for, or was it like
it was completely and utterly instinctual. There was no thought, there was no planning. It's kind of like this. It's like you turn into the thing, and they're like in the tent, you know, like video tent. We're out at my house, and they're like, I go get the mail, and they're like, hey, this is like a thing. You're like, I was like, all right.
Well, whatever it was, Silas,
and then it just turned into the thing. It was complete.
You set us up well, though. That was a good foundation.
It stuck.
You totally did. You were so committed. That was the other thing with my first day. Like, I'm like, you can't be like half baked with your morph. Like, you know, like, remember every guest star we had on the show was so good. All so like all in committed. But I will say, there was one who was very timid, like felt stupid. Was insecure and felt stupid. I was like, homie, you just gotta like commit to that shit, or it's gonna look so dumb. So that's what I had in my mind my first day. But I will say, because Silas and Claire, that because since I watched the pilot before I came to shoot, you know, I was thoughtful on the plane as I'm like trying to build a character flying to the job that I'm going to actually get on set that same day to do. I'm such a dork. I was watching Fox videos. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Not so.
And I decided, I was like, well, I think Rosalie, she's this like feminine energy. So like I felt, because in contrast to both of you, like I'm like, maybe Rosalie should be a little bit more fluid and like, you know, feminine and soft, and to like
you had a very morph.
A very what?
Yeah.
Sensual, very sort of sensuous.
It got I went a little off. I think by season 3 I started getting a little bit more loose, and I was like, what's up? You know, got a little antsy for like.
Hey,
half a
remember
season.
head roll.
Remember Rick Overton? Remember Rick Overton? He played my Uncle Felix or whatever. When he
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
talk about going for it, man.
But it's so great. You gotta
He
go for it.
was.
You gotta go
Well,
for it.
I was only informed that I was Vesson in season 2, so I had to come up with it as kind of like it was a little different. Like mine was reluctant, like he didn't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to morph.
Oh,
So it was more like this
I like
internal
that.
struggle of like I don't want it to come out, but here it
Oh,
is, and so I had to
totally.
find that. Yeah,
I can
Nice.
relate.
but it was
to that.
interesting.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
You know what's weird though is the German word vogue actually mean change, and I thought it was sort of unfortunate that the word was vogue because it reminded me of Madonna.
Of Vogue.
I was like,
Yeah.
but the German word really is Vulga. It means change, so it was appropriate. But I also think I bet you there's a lot of people out there who would think like, oh yeah, Vogue, like you're turning into a thing. Like no,
Uh-huh.
It's kind of what you were doing. You were changing, but also showing off. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a little bit of a
What's
letting
your
your
animal
flag fly.
Sasha, you briefly brought up my next question about being surprised about your character being a Vessin and things like that. I'd love to hear just about, because so much changed and so many things happened over the course of 6 seasons, and specifically from at Grand Moff Steve and a lot of fans out there. Were there any surprises in the endings of your characters? And I know there's some folks out there that haven't seen everything, or just even surprises along the way that you were like, whoa, what? I did not see this coming in the storyline, but so many things happened.
For me personally, I didn't see anything coming because it was continuously an evolving character. I mean, even when we started, initially Jim and David, our creators, they had a completely different vision for the captain. He was like this, I mean, yes, he was a prince that was revealed later on, but he had like an 18-year-old daughter that he was about to marry off. It was very Game of Thrones. He was going to marry off his daughter to another sort of royal and all this power plays. And then I discovered that I was Vessin in season 2. And then I discovered that I had a mother and a cousin, and I killed the cousin. And then, I mean, there were so many like things that were constantly going on that, and then, and
I think that's called making it up as you go along.
Yeah, but I think that's. Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, it is
fun
totally
because it kept you on your toes. It kept you loose. You couldn't overcommit to anything because you knew something was going to come at you at some point. And then, of course, the whole storyline with Claire and the baby, and that changed like the trajectory so much as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing about doing a fantasy show is that you don't have any rules, so you can do whatever you want to do, which the writers really capitalized on. And so it was like I remember when I lost my powers, it was like, oh, okay, that's how like Grimms can take like power. There were just a lot of logistics that became clear. But it's like what Bree was saying, if you just commit to the reality, like don't ask a lot of questions is what I learned. Just like,
I found that
right.
well, sci-fi becomes then so much fun because truly, I mean, it's like for all of us that are actors, it's like getting to play like a real person is one thing, but then having to go into a world beyond real person is like even more exciting. But I just remember especially with Jim and David, where they wrote so much based on story from episode to episode. I remember them saying, or at some point they were like, when is Wu going to find out? I think Wu's going to probably find out like later, season 5 or something. But then like at the end of season 3, I was in Bitsy and David's house and I find the books and I start leafing through the books. So he's like, ooh, well, we can't anymore. He's already there at the books. And then Neander Wu, I would never have guessed at all.
Right.
I would turn into that. So that was fun. That was fun.
Silas,
that was a great arc with you not knowing what was going on and being like, what the hell, guys? That was really a great part of the story. Was like having a normie who's like not quite down with what was going on and seeing clues and all that. I thought that was really great.
I still love that scene in my office, Reg, when you come in and and you're looking at me all differently and I'm looking at you.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's like so and it's so awkward. It's just like I've been caught, you're like, so we're good. Yeah. And he's just
Oh,
like,
sad.
it was wonderfully
Oh,
awkward.
I feel like as a fan, we all just like audibly cheered. We're like, finally, Detective Wu knows. You were the only one out of the dark for the whole time, or in the dark, sorry, for the whole time.
Yeah.
Bree or Jacqueline, same question. Anything?
Jack, go for it.
I would just say I feel like it just kept it kept getting different for Trouble and feeding like what I wanted to do for my like growing up as an actor, like wanting to become a secret agent, which like Trouble was a homeless teen and then becomes this like expert computer motorcycle riding person, which like I didn't see coming at all, but really fulfilled some childhood dreams for me.
Nice.
I think Rosalie like had the most stable storyline,
Totally.
and actually I really appreciated that. There was drama. I think that was just fun. I mean, the wedding, we all, I felt like each of us had like one episode per season that we could really hang on to and really, and the wedding stuff was such a nice spectacle, in terms of the show, and then Monroe's character being kidnapped, and like there were these moments, but I think all in all, I mean, Rosalie was a pretty steady Eddie of the
Well, you need that variation in any good show, and that's why Grimm was so fun, because the characters were so written, and it really was about characters and story, right? Obviously based on traditional fairy tales, but then kind of brought to life in a modern age, and that's what was so amazing about seeing all of your storylines.
Yeah, and especially for the Rosalie Monroe, like I always thought that was such a great choice the writers made, to just like, here's this creature couple living in this other world, but like I always loved the most like mundane stuff that the couple you could watch with the couple, like putting together the crib, or like making dinner, or like marital spats, when it's this fantasy world. I think that grounding of real humanity was a really strong reason why the show worked for so long, for everyone.
All of Rosalie's drama was in her backstory, like
That's
the
right.
brother, the brother, the addiction thing,
I was addicted to Jay, man. I was addicted to Jay.
You were a Jay addict.
I was a Jay addict. And my brother, Freddie got murdered. Freddie got murdered, and I came in. No, that was actually, I have to say, I tried to always like hold on to that. I mean, in a long running show, you do kind of have to be in the moment and let certain things go. Like Claire said, you just gotta like not ask questions and just like be on the ride like you do in your life. But I did try to kind of like have some thread to that past, which it came back with the old boyfriend, Claire, with you and I. That was fun stuff that you and
yeah, that was
that old
so good.
boyfriend coming back. That was a fun couple episodes.
Yeah, and Bree, to your point, it's like the fact that it was grounded, I think, is what made it so intriguing. That we were able to see these people, these what we thought consider regular people in the city of Portland, but then all the hidden magic that was going on. But at the end of the day, it was about real time issues. You mentioned the marriage, to Monroe, was really dealing with interracial marriages and things, you know what I mean? And then the whole hate from the Black Claws and everything, and being a pure blood, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Really was touching on a lot of real world issues just in this sort of
Well, you get a lot of license in the fantasy genre to actually talk about really heavy shit and not actually have to talk about it. And it's actually, I think it's a really great way to communicate political messages without being literal about it.
Greenwald always said that. He said that you get more leeway in the mythical realm to address real world stuff because you can put it in a kind of clothing that is, more loose. You're not doing a documentary about, World War I in the Black Hand, which is actually what started World War I. I was watching a documentary and I was like, that's where they got the Black Claw, the Black Hand. It was like this being underground unit that like anarchists that wanted to start World War I. But anyway, you're not doing that. You're doing a fantasy thing, but it's in there. That was always one of Greenwald's big things.
let's talk about, we're almost, we're running out of time, and this has been so great. And, but we have time for a couple more questions. I want to remind the fans out there that you only have a limited time now to buy those one-on-one private video chats. They'll happen immediately after. And some of the actors here are already at their limit. So definitely take care of that now if you're interested. But let's keep moving. We mentioned, obviously, the grounded in reality. Let's talk about the fun and the fantasy. People love to know, especially when shows had a successful run and they had some sort of sci-fi or fantasy element. Specifically, a bunch of people are asking, but specifically from who is asking here? Sorry, Kayla Divac on Facebook. Any props or costumes or anything fun that you stole from set?
We stole a lot, actually.
I stole a lot.
Yeah.
She's the best
What'd you
out of
get?
any of
What'd
us.
you get?
I think I've got something right here. If you,
Oh.
I stole a lot of stuff for Silas.
Hold on, I got stuff.
Oh.
Wait,
What
which
is
one?
that?
Oh, that's the now,
that?
now NBC is going to come knocking on my door.
Yeah, I tried to ask for things, but like dresses,
this is a
and denied.
this is something right.
What
ask.
is that, Silas? What is it?
This is I don't know if you can see this. It's
blurry.
a cocktail book from like 1908.
Ooh.
And it's
Wow.
called
Oh.
Burke's Complete Cocktail and Drinking Recipes. And let's just open and see what we got here. Okay, a bijou cocktail.
Ooh.
They use things like dashes and just one of these, a dash of that.
I just confused.
olive,
How is that different from something you'd already have in your house?
Wait, I have something. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I know
Hold on.
everyone wants to go get. I'm gonna go get something.
All right.
No.
This is not.
Oh
This is
yes.
This is not a
Wait, I'll be
souvenir per
back.
se, but this was a gift.
Oh.
Our special effects team, Barney Burnham and the gang.
Oh,
they created
yeah.
this wonderful plaque. Remember this? I think we all got it.
Look,
What did
Rosalie.
you get there?
Rosalie's spices are there.
Wait, this is the best because they spelled turmeric wrong, and I think it's funny. Hold on.
What you got?
I
Oh yeah, that is wrong.
And I love this one. It's a tincture of prickle puppy.
Oh.
It's just a tincture of prickle puppy. That's what I
Mm.
did.
Oh man.
You'll be fine with those, but they don't need those bottles. They're fine. They're fine.
Such
Oh
an
my
idiot.
gosh, they're fine.
Jax, did you keep your blades or katanas or whatever they were?
I took a machete and I took
Machete.
a little chess piece keychain.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, okay. Chess
Little
piece. Yeah.
black.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember. That was like your
That's good.
touchstone. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I have about
And then
30
my-
pairs of REI socks.
So I took a raincoat.
I'm wearing them.
Yeah. I think I just have a ton of like hair products. That's about it. But
Oh,
I
yeah, we
do.
got
I have a
some good-
ton of it. Yeah.
We got some good products. We got some good products
Yeah.
for makeup.
Claire,
Yeah.
I do. I still have some hair gloss.
Oh, I
from
just
set.
pulled out a shampoo because it's like quarantine. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the back of my bathroom, there's that
Yeah.
shampoo that I took from
Nice.
trailer.
All right, Reggie, what'd you bring? You were gone for a little
Oh,
while.
I didn't. You know, I couldn't find it.
Oh,
I
good.
could. You know what I did? You know what I did find is this from the Portland Police
Yes.
Department that they
Oh,
gave us.
Yes.
These coins. It's like
Yeah.
a get out of jail free card. It's just
Nice,
pretty
like
much.
if you get stopped, you just show your coin
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I believe that
in
holds
Portland.
a lot. Yeah, I believe that holds a lot in Portland. Where's my Portland Grimsters out there? Would they get away with crime if they're holding on to
They were.
minor crimes?
Yeah. No,
I
it was
have
the
a
Portland Police
question.
Department was great. But go ahead, Jax.
Cool,
Go.
cool.
I have a question about those coins, and I feel like Silas has to know this, but
Probably.
is it for any like military or police officer or fireman that if you ask the person for their coin, they have to give it to you, but if they have it, or if they have to buy you a drink if you don't have it, but if you have it,
Yes,
buy you
you're
a
right. You're right. There is that component to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I remember being told that. You're right, Jax.
And
You're
obviously,
right.
obviously shout out not only then during the show, but especially now to all those first responders out there that are still working.
Oh my God.
You all
Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
And
Thank you so
I know
much.
many are watching this and using this as a nice break. So again, thank you all for being here and giving that to them. But we are almost out of time, and the fans have been yelling at me in the comments, and I've been saving this for last because we all know what's coming. Grimm spinoff ideas have been thrown out there. Grimm movie ideas. Bring Grimm back. All the Grimmsters have been loud and proud. Have you all heard anything? You don't have to give us like actual like details, but would you be excited or would ever want to be a part of any sort of Grimm spinoff or movie event?
I think we talk about it every day.
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no schedule that couldn't be cleared.
Man.
To do this.
We're getting like
I think we can all agree that in the 3 years since the show ended, the amount of new fans, the barrage of people globally who've like been streaming this show and discovered the show and binging on the show is absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm shocked all the time that the amount of people who are just come into it and who just, the fan base seems to be growing all the time. And so could happen.
People that watch it for like the 5th or 6th time, like the entire cycle, you'll see social media going, this is my 5th time through the whole thing. When are you going to come out with more? So I think that, it's amazing fan base. So thank you guys so much.
There are definitely, you can't say we're not trying is all I would say.
Chatter.
There are
good way to put it.
Positive.
We pick it outside of NBC every Friday.
and we take Claire on an iPad with us. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, lots of love out there from the fans. Bring it back. People are crying just hearing this right now. Love you all. Hey, let's wrap this up. And again, we'll give you all a break to head to your one-on-one video chats. But any final words you want to say out there? Again, the Grimmsters are showing their love crazy on all the streams, and I hope you go back and watch this. But just one more round robin from all of you. Just a shout out to watching.
I'm just going to repeat myself and say what I said at the top, which is we literally, I mean, people say this all the time, but in our case, I feel like it's particularly true. We would not have had the time we had to tell the stories we told if the fans hadn't sought us out actively, proactively, and I will be forever grateful because I had the time of working on this show with all of you. I love that because of the fans.
I think we're losing you a little bit there, Silas.
I think it's perfect that Silas has the worst connection of all.
I know. Silas, just restart your typewriter. Just give it just flick it on and off for a second.
Was that all?
No, part of it. Don't worry about it.
A little bit, Bubba. A little bit.
But jumping on what Silas said, it was always all about the fans. From the moment we got picked up in season 1, it was obvious that we somehow tapped into a fan base that was just ready to receive us and has supported us ever since. So thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you.
And I'm so glad that we can do this now for everyone out there during this crazy, crazy time. We're all kind of doing it for our own local charities or businesses. Mine for Pips.
Yeah.
So please support any local business or charity organization just to help people out. But we're so glad to have done this now during this time, and I miss all you guys so much. And shout out to David and Bitsy and Russell who couldn't be with us today. So we love you guys and miss you.
Awesome. Silas, you got your whole thing out, and everyone just thought you were voguing. That's all that it seemed like on our end. So that was what we saw.
Perfect.
Paul, once again,
Old habits die hard.
For taking the time out of your day to give us a brief respite during these times. We'd love to have you all back again with even more of the cast members for Grimm Round 2, and we will keep our fingers crossed for that spinoff. Virtual audience watching all over the world, please help me in outroing this amazing cast one more time.
Woo, guys.
Jacqueline Tobani, Reggie Lee, Silas Weir-Mitchell, and Sasha Ruiz. Thanks, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Miss you guys.
Miss
Bye,
you all.
everybody. I'll see you after this for drinks.
Bring a drink. Guys. First. Bring a drink to Reggie's one-on-ones, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The crowd is loving it out there. Thank you all so much. What an amazing chat. I mean, could you not tell that they were the biggest besties in the whole world? And that's what made the show so amazing. We'd love to have them back to continue and get to more of your questions. But that is all we have time for today. However, thank you all again for watching on Facebook Live, on Twitter.
Déjame en los comentarios sus impresiones sobre lo mencionado en esta videoconferencia. Si el video fue de tu agrado, dale like y compártelo con quienes gusten de Grimm. Y si te interesa lo relacionado a esta serie y su amplio universo, suscríbete a este canal, lo cual me ayudaría mucho. No olvides seguirme en Twitter, lo verás en pantalla y en la descripción del video. Sin más que decir, me despido, agradeciendo el tiempo que dedicaste a este video. Gracias.